The cool part about in person is it's more fun when you're recording a podcast and you have another person next to you or multiple people next to you. You can feed off the energy.
All right, so we're going to talk about why we're doing live podcasts again. And what I mean by that is, Neil, as of this very moment, we're recording sitting next to each other. We haven't done this for 3 to 4 years. And we have a wonderful crew helping us.
Oh, you're right, dude. We haven't done this in forever.
4 years.
We used to go to the network studio.
The network studios in LA, Culver City. Yeah, nearby. And we record side by side. And we actually, when we started this podcast, it was recorded side by side. I was going to EDC in Vegas and I stayed at Neil's place and we recorded off a crappy mic. But point being is, we want to talk about why we're actually doing live again. I can go first because Neil probably could use a pointer or two. But let me tell you why I think it's helpful.
All right, go for it.
I think that from a post-production standpoint, you get a lot more because people like... Have you seen the fake podcast before? People act like they're talking on a podcast and that gets a lot of reach.
Yeah.
So anyway, point is, people like watching podcasts. It's very official. The other piece is we get to hang out in person.
Well, look at the Joe Rogan show. It's so popular.
Huh? That's an example, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think in-person's always done better for us. And whenever I've recorded in-person stuff in my office, whether it's like an in-person long form video where it's solo or it's a podcast like this, we've always done a lot better. And that's what I've noticed. When it's just two talking heads on Zoom, sure, our quality's a lot higher now, but it's just not the same as this. Like I can see your cues, I can see how you're feeling, I can see when you're yawning too, right? So yeah.
The cool part about in person is it's more fun when you're recording a podcast and you have another person next to you or multiple people next to you. You can feed off the energy. Think about radio shows. When you look at a radio shows like Howard Stern show, the reason they did well, one of the reasons was a lot of them were in the same room, feeding off of each other, feeding off the energy, and it was creating that kind of content. And a lot of it was spontaneous. How are you going to adjust? What are you going to end up doing? And it's hard to get that kind of energy when you're doing something over Zoom. It's just not the same. It's the same reason why a lot of people or corporations are saying, hey, we're going to bring back people to the office. Maybe not every day, maybe a few days a week or a few days a month, but just doing some things in person, like the podcast episodes. It's fun. It creates a different form of energy than when we do it on Zoom.
Yeah, you can't beat the serendipity. Like yesterday, I had a live dinner, right? A live dinner with 3 other people that I hadn't seen for years. And I got 4 or 5 great takeaways that you wouldn't normally get on a Zoom call because a Zoom call is much more transactional. And that's fine. That's what a Zoom call is good for. Yeah. But for this, the reason why I want to do this more live in person or even bring back live for my other podcast is because you actually build a relationship with someone that you've never met before. And it's a deep conversation. If it's like an hour, 2 hours or so, for sure you're going to build a relationship. And that goes a lot further. So I would just say for me, podcasting has changed my life, but more so on the live side. And I plan on doing this at the event as well. I plan on having a live setup where people can just go in and record stuff. And that's what it's literally next week. I don't know if you know this, Neil. Someone's flying in just to do a live podcast here. And they've got like a million subs on YouTube or whatever. I'm like, oh, great. I'll do it. Come over to my place. And I'm sure you have that happen to you too. You do a lot of live.
I do a lot of live podcasts. People just prefer it live. And I was like, all right, let's do it.
I like Gary V's take on it
better.
too.
The video quality is much better.
Way better. And I like Gary V's take on this where I don't produce content. It's documented and podcasting is documented. And that's a good opportunity to post-produce. I'd much rather do this than sit and have to come up with scripts and headlines and record for 2 hours. I hate that. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I hate that as well. This is more fun.
Yeah. So I'd rather do this for a long time and just have a lot of content to cut up. And we'll talk about a product that you can use afterwards, maybe in the next episode.
But if you want to repurpose your content and have it work well for social media, as well as for other channels as well, recording podcasts in a studio or live is going to create more opportunities for you to create shorts than, let's say, if you did it over Zoom. Just the type of video quality that you're going to end up getting, it's hard to edit to make it amazing short or a reel. And for that reason, if you're going to do podcasting, do it live. It makes it just better content when you're repurposing.
All right. So that is it for today. Please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. 5 stars, please. Also, looking at the date over here, check out levelingup.com/founders to apply for the live event in Beverly Hills, August 7th to the 9th.